People today would have us believe that America was founded by secularists who wanted to remove religion and religious faith from public life. They ought to go to Washington and tour our monuments. They ought to open their eyes and see our national symbols, which if they weren't so solidly engraved in marble, I'm convinced some people would want to sand brush them out today. Consider that on our coins is stamped the phrase, "In God we trust." Consider that a Christian chaplain is employed by the Congress and offers prayers each day. Consider that each president upon his inauguration places his hand not on the Quran, not on the Book of Mormon, not on some other religious book, not on the Constitution or even the Declaration of Independence, but each president has placed his hand upon the Holy Bible as he swore his oath of office. Consider that every day a crier opens the proceedings of the Supreme Court with the words, "God save the United States and the Honorable Court." Consider that above the head of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court are the Ten Commandments. Consider that in the Congress the phrase, "In God we trust," appears opposite the President of the Senate, the Vice President of the United States, and that the same phrase inscribed in marble backdrops the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Consider the mural of Pocahontas' Christian baptism that hangs in the Capitol Rotunda. Consider that if you were to go to the top of the Washington Monument, the highest structure in the city, and if you were to take a helicopter ride and get lowered down, you would see a metal cap to the top of the Washington Monument, the highest place in Washington. You know what that metal cap says? It says this, "Praise be to God." If they allowed you to walk up and down the stairs of the monument, you would read these phrases: "Search the Scriptures, holiness to the Lord, train up a child in the way he should go." If you went over to the Library of Congress, you would see Micah 6:8, Psalm 19:1, John 1:5 engraved in the walls. If you walk over to the Lincoln Memorial, you would see carved in that Lincoln Memorial his great words that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. If you even walk to the Jefferson Memorial, you will find Jefferson's words, who said, "God gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are the gift of God? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever." On and on we could go. For some of you, it's what you know and have heard, and for others, it is a shocking thing to learn that America was founded by people of religious faith who constructed a government for people of religious faith, and that one of the primary motives was the advancement of Christian faith. Yes, it was a government that gratefully, thankfully, wisely, that did not establish a state church, and as such, there is a separation between church and state. When properly understood, I am grateful for that, because it means the government has to stay out of the business of the churches. That's the whole purpose of the separation of church and state. Do you know where that phrase comes from? That phrase, which is so often today used by secularists to tell religious people of faith that they need to be quiet and stay out of the public arena, that phrase, first of all, is not found in the Constitution. It's not found in the Declaration of Independence. I'll tell you where it is found. It's found in a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote to a group of Baptists in Connecticut. And he wrote a group of Baptists because they were a persecuted minority, and they heard rumors that the government was going to establish a state church. The Congregationalists were making it hard on them. And so Thomas Jefferson wrote a response to their concerns saying, you don't have anything to worry about because the Constitution has established a separation of church and state, meaning that the government will stay out of your business. That's what it meant. How ironic that that phrase has been turned around to be used by secularists to do the very thing that Jefferson and others warned against as they begin to tell people how to pray, where to pray, when to pray. Ours is a nation that has been blessed. And we could talk about the blessing of God through these 200 plus years. From a people who simply came with a dream and a hope and a prayer, and how God brought them through the miracles in the American Revolution, the overwhelming odds of this country even getting off the ground to where we are today, the world's remaining superpower. We have known a measure of freedom and prosperity that the rest of the world can only imagine. Can any of us doubt these blessings are the result of God's grace upon a people who looked to Him?